So here's a quick look at how we make final decisions in Empower. That is the best practice. There are a few different ways. But if I've been entering evidence scores, every time we're doing activities in class, I'm aligning them to certain standards. So here, this activity's got 3 different standards. And you can watch the scoring video to learn how to do that. The activities video covers some of that. Once I've got these scores in here, I'll have trends. You know, a child may have encountered this standard here and here and here. And I want to look now at how do I make a final score. So I flipped this tab up here from Score Evidences over to Score Standards. And I can look and see that, for example, Aaliyah has a 2.5 here. Well, is that accurate? We've been doing a lot of work in that skill this semester, so let's find out. I'm going to go up to our Score Estimator. And this gives me a chance to zoom in on all of my kids. And from here I can see that here's Aaliyah's 2.5. I could click that and see the rubric levels. What does it mean to get a 3? So can Aaliyah do this? Well, let's find out. First thing I might want to do is look at all of her evidences. Anything she's ever done, anytime she's ever interacted with this standard, her quizzes and her projects. And I could look at this, I could click into here and look at the essay she turned in, the instructions and the resources she had access to, the conversation she had with her teacher. All of that is here, and I begin to get a really robust look at what this child has done in their career with this standard. Now again, these evidences might have been earned last year or with a different teacher. This is anytime, anywhere that she's ever gotten a score for this. Now here, for example, Aaliyah got a 1 out of 3. And now that may be concerning, but maybe she was only beginning to learn and we would expect her to get some low scores. So we can look at this evidence charted over time. What's happening here is Empower takes all of those activities, and Aaliyah's had a lot of interaction with this skill, and some of her scores have been proficient. They're up here in the green, and some are beneath proficiency and they're purple. And Empower cuts across that data with 3 different means of calculating a true score. The purple dotted line there, that's just a straight average, and you can see the total over here. These other lines, linear and power law, these are based on Dr. Marzano's algorithms, and they take into account differently some of those factors I was talking about a minute ago. When was this score given? What was the expected score here? So we're not necessarily knocking Aaliyah for the learning process, where early on she got some low scores. Now some of these misses up here will factor more heavily into the algorithm, and we see that Aaliyah's trending at about a 2.8, it looks like. And what Empower does is it selects the one that is the best fit, or most likely the true score, according to Dr. Marzano's research. And what that's doing is it's taking the actual observed attempts over time, and it's measuring the difference between those and the predicted scores from the trends. So if I look at that on a precision table, I can see here that the predicted scores for every trend, the actual observed scores, and the difference between them. And because the power law has the smallest difference between the 2 scores, it's recommending that this has historically been the most accurate and is therefore probably the best fit now. So I might come in and just agree with Empower, and I can have an option to set that as the current score. And if I do that, Empower is going to round it to the nearest grade that our system supports. Or I might say, you know what, on second thought, she has made some misses lately. I'd like to see some more proficiencies here. So I'm going to go ahead and keep her at the 2.5. And so even though Empower is giving teachers a whole lot of research-backed, data-driven suggestions, they're still just suggestions. And the final decision is a human teacher decision. So that's how the True Score Estimator works. And in most cases, that's best practice for taking that formative work that we've been doing in the classroom, those artifacts and evidences, and making a final decision that's going to go out on the progress report. This score here that I just gave, this is what, if we printed a progress report right now, would appear.